Hey folks, Fernando doing another video here for the Modern Survivalist and trying out some alternatives with your typical food saver. These are mostly used for, of course, vacuum sealing food. You just put these in a bag. Usually you get these in rolls. You cut these and make your own bag depending on the size that you want. And yeah, basically the idea is for sealing food. Something like this is super simple and very effective, by the way. These are just a couple boxes of pasta, for example. In this format like this, you can pile this in a shelf, one on top of the other, and leave it for many years. Man, this is gonna be lasting, especially this type of food, dry pasta, vacuum sealed in a bag. You can leave this probably for decades and it's gonna be just as eatable years later. It's really a great way to store food long term. It's a couple of reasons really. You're avoiding the contact with oxygen, and that's one of the big things with food, which causes oxidation, especially with more fatty foods. That is the biggest deterrent. And in this kind of food, it's also about insects, bugs that get in here, and when you open the package, it's all, just bugs all over the thing. You could still eat it, I guess, but this is a great solution. It's affordable too. You could go with the Mylar bags and buckets, or just blocks, or whatever type of Mylar you're using. You have different thicknesses of Mylar as well. I'm okay with that. I think it's fantastic. The more options you have, the better it is. Definitely a bucket of plastic and lined with Mylar is a fantastic way to go for a long-term food storage. It may end up being overkill though. If you're going to be eating this in a couple years, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, likely this is going to be more than enough, really. As this is, I have zero doubts whatsoever that 10 years down the road, this pasta is just going to be just as eatable. It's super simple food. So what I find interesting is that it's not just good for this, it's good for basically anything that you want to protect from humidity or from contact with air. All right, so for example, these are matches, Strike Anywhere Swan Vista matches. These I want to protect from humidity mostly because that's the kind of thing that gets in and degrades the head of the match. It gets all soft, and when you try to strike it, it just peels off, comes off without working. So this is a good solution. A pack kept vacuum sealed, and here I made a little pouch with some dry rice. Rice absorbs humidity, so any little bit of humidity that was caught here somehow will go into that pack. It's going to be protecting my matches long term. This is going to be a great solution. These type of matches in particular, it's been my experience, they're quite delicate to humidity, so you always want to have these in a match box, a little match case, airtight, sealed properly. Humidity is a big enemy for your matches. Even for ammunition, something like this is like a little pack with some 12 gauge shells. This is gonna be great for keeping it in a pack away from humidity. A bug out bag maybe that's gonna be years sitting there. This is how you protect this from humidity sipping in or just causing you any troubles. You have this, it's gonna be sealed properly many years down the road. No problem with that sort of thing. I'm gonna be doing one so as to show you how this works and gives you maybe another idea. So I have this little bit of bag left. It's open on both sides. Just for you guys that never use one of these, I guess a lot of people have, but there's always someone out there that may not have seen it. So what I'm going to be doing I'm not cutting like I did here. Here I cut the bag into one of the corners, but here I'm going to be just sealing because I'm not so sure how much bag I need. So I'm going to be sealing one of the ends. Right, there it is. Up and just sealing one of the ends, and yeah, it just takes a minute. There it is. You have a nice seal. You can double this, I guess, but once you get it done, a good one, it's enough. It's shouldn't be an issue. So you see that line there. So what I'm going to be doing, instead of trying to cut it, I'm just going to be putting these clothes. This is just like a little, a t-shirt, shorts, socks, a little kit in case you get all wet and you need to change into t-shirts, shorts, underwear, socks. And I want this to be super compact, so it's going to be giving me an idea of how compact I can get this. Okay, so now that I have a better idea of how much I need, I could push this maybe a little bit more down there, but I want this to be very flat. So I'm going to be sacrificing a bit more bag there. I could even cut this a little bit more. maybe around, yeah, probably around here is gonna be enough. So yeah, I'm gonna be cutting it here like so. And now I'm gonna be getting this in there. So this is gonna be flattening this thing quite nicely. And you see how the air just goes away. You can even help it out a little bit, making it even more flat and helping it along the way. And once the machine detects that it has all the air out, it's getting hard, rock hard. Once it detects it has all the air out, it stops, seals it for you, and that's it, you're done. So look at how nice and flat this is. This is gonna be easier to pack in a bug-out bag, in a kit, whatever it is that you have in mind for it. It's gonna be a lot more compact so as to, you know, slip somewhere there in the backpack. It's also gonna be protected from humidity. It's not gonna be, you know, having that damp stink that clothes that sit in a backpack have, especially when it's sitting there for years. This is the kind of thing you can leave it for years. When you need it, it's not only not going to be smelling bad, it's going to be dry. If you're bugging out or using that backpack in whatever emergency you found yourself in, and you find yourself all soaking wet, this, if everything is soaking wet, including your pack, or you go down, you know, in a canoe or a boat or somewhere, or whatever it is, this is going to be remaining dry. You find yourself a dry spot, you open this up, and you have a nice change of dry clothes. And yeah, I love this thing. It has so many applications. It's very practical. Folks, it's going to be all for now. Just a few suggestions. I guess lots of you guys thought about this before already, and you know, a bunch of other things that you can think about it. You think of yourself in different ways in which you can use this. I was even thinking of, you know, making like small kits and putting it in there, and it just keeps it in that shape and very, you know, kind of neat and practical. You know, lots of things to try out. See you on the next video. Have an awesome day, folks. Take care.